kids. Fuck the kids? Yeah.
You have just tuned in to the Mag Nerd Podcast, your home for everything in music, anime, and gaming. What is up, guys? Showing up the King here, back with another video, and today I'm bringing you another action figure news video. God damn. I first wanted to thank you guys so much for the support. The video I did talking about the G.I. Joe Classified and just, ranting a little bit about the community, giving you guys some important information. That video blew up, did very well on the channel. I love the engagement. I really appreciate the conversations that were going on that were constructive, and just I'm glad you guys understood where I was coming from, because again, I do make these videos for myself, but again, just to keep the community informed. And again, like I said, I like to do it. So again, I am going to be having some more G.I. Joe news towards the end of this video, but the main meat and potatoes of this particular video is going to be talking about the new Super 7 news that dropped over the weekend, as well as a little bit of a rant. I'm going to have another rant, and this rant is going to be directed towards the community again. Hopefully you guys will find it as constructive as possible, but again, there's always going to be a couple of people that's not going to be happy with it, and I'm cool with that. But first, again, before I jump into the action figure news, again, just make sure I do my shameless plug. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the Showing Up the King YouTube channel. I am well on my way to 2,000 subscribers. I would love to be there before the end of 2021, and at this rate, I can definitely achieve that goal. Make sure you guys are also subscribed to my Instagram page, which is the Mag Nerd Podcast, as well as the Facebook page, which is also Mag Nerd Podcast as well. Make sure you guys are subscribed, hit the bell notification so you will always be notified when I upload a new video. All right, shameless plug done. Let's get into this discussion. So I'm going to start off by just talking about the immediate Super 7 news that came out. Over the course of the weekend, I believe it was January 29th, they came out with a press release that Super 7 is getting into the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers line. And needless to say, I was shocked, because again, I thought that the brand was doing very well with Hasbro. Again, I like the Lightning Collection. I loved what they've done so far, except for the Megazord. The Megazord that they did was a cheap piece of crap, and I did not like it. I ended up buying it, but I never actually opened it yet. I'm actually thinking about giving it to my kids, believe it or not. Anyway, so again, the reason why I brought up Hasbro is because, again, they are doing the Lightning Collection. They're actively doing a Power Ranger line. So I thought it was very weird for them to be letting someone else do another Power Ranger line. But, with Super 7, they typically, again, the 7 in Super 7 typically means that they're doing it in a different scale, because, again, Hasbro's Lightning Collection is in 6-inch scale, and it looks to be like Super 7s will be in the 7-inch scale for the Ultimates line. But, again, the announcement basically was that they're actually bringing out 3 brand new lines for the Power Rangers. First off is going to be the first off will be the 11-inch Megazord, but we'll talk about that in a second. They're also going to be coming out with the first wave of Power Rangers in a 3 3/4 reaction figure line, and those are kind of more akin to like G.I. Joes. And again, those include the Red Ranger, Green Ranger, Rita Repulsa, Pudgy Pig, the Putty Patroller, and there's also going to be a Megazord that's going to be that size. And I do have a couple of production images that you guys can take a look at here. And you can kind of see that the Pudgy Pig will come with his fork and knife. It's also Rita Repulsa will be there as well. And you can kind of see there's not going to be a whole lot of articulation in these. Honestly, I'm not really interested in these 3 and 7/5-inch figures. It's not really my style. But again, I'm glad that it's here. And again, you see here the Green Ranger will come with the, Sword of Darkness and then a Dragon Flute. And then here we also have the Megazord. Now, this is where I wanted to stop, because the Megazord itself will be the first of the figures that is going to be coming out. And it looks like it's going to come articulated. So it's going to be about 11 inches tall, multiple points of articulation, and it's actually going to have a removable torso panel to reveal the inside of the actual Megazord. Now, what's funny is that normally the Power Rangers are in the head of the Megazord, but it looks like they're going to have it set up so that they're sitting inside of the chest of the Megazord this time around, which is fine. Not a really big deal. And my guess is that the 3 1/4 inch figures will probably fit in that Megazord, or maybe not. Because again, if it's 11 inches, it still would be kind of tight fit for those smaller Rangers. But again, these are just some of the mock-ups. We don't know what the final build will look like. But again, like I said, in general, I am all in on the Megazord, to be honest. But I don't know about the other figures. Now the Ultimates line is going to also be they're going to also be doing Green Ranger, Dinozord, Putty Patroller, Yellow Ranger, Red Ranger, Green Ranger, and Goldar will also be in the Ultimates line this year as well. And again, those are going to be done. The Ultimates line are usually, if you've ever seen Super 7's He-Man or Super 7's Thundercats, which I'm going to be talking about very shortly. Those are the 7-inch Rangers. How I feel about those, I'll have to wait and see until I get some actual images. I don't have any images of them right now. But my thoughts on it is that like right now I have with Lightning Collection, I am more of a bigger MMPR fan than anything else. But if Super 7 comes out with some really nice Rangers and they come with some really great accessories in a 7-inch scale, I wouldn't mind grabbing them. But again, I wouldn't mind paying like $40 because I know $40 to $50 is usually what Super 7 charges for their action figures. And again, I don't have a problem paying for that, especially if it's the original MMPR. I mean, I have the older version before we even got Lightning Collection. So if this line is good, I'll check it out as well. All right, so that was it for the Power Ranger news. Now it's time to talk about the Thundercats news. And before I actually get into the Thundercat news, this is where I'm going to actually start having the rant. So Super 7 also revealed that they are creating a Thunder Tank. And this Thunder Tank is going to be a 7-inch scale Thunder Tank. So if any of us know that it is very, very hard to make a vehicle that would fit a 6-inch character, let alone a 7-inch character. So obviously you would imagine that this thing is massive. So they came out over the weekend and announced that this thing was coming out, and the fan base lost their shit in a good and bad way. Now, the rant in general is about them losing their shit in the bad way, namely complaining about the price. Now, look, I'm not sitting here, I'm not Alibaba, I'm not like some sultan with like thousands and thousands of dollars. I'm your regular average, collector. Again, I enjoy the hobby, I love the hobby, but I understand that the hobby costs money. So what ended up happening is Brian Flynn came out and announced that this Thunder Tank was coming out, and he announced that this thing is going to be $450 plus shipping. And, at first glance, when you hear that, you're like, $450 for a toy? What the fuck? Like, who the fuck is paying that? Like, I understand the sticker shock. I get it. So when I saw the sticker price, I was like, damn. That's too rich for my blood. But, and again, the reason why I say that is because I'm not even collecting the Super 7 line. Like, I love Thundercats. Like, back in the 80s, the 90s, when Thundercats was on, like, mostly the 80s, that was my shit. Thundercats, Silverhawks. Those were my two obsessions back then. I also mess with He-Man, but not as much as I mess with Thundercats. Thundercats was my shit. Panthro was my nigga, all right? So I completely get it. Like, I wanted to get in on this line so badly. But again, I typically do not collect 7-inch scale figures. I am a 6-inch scale guy. I've said that in my G.I. Joe thing. So that's the main reason why I skipped out on this line. Now, for Super 7 to then they made the Snake Mountain. They made a whole lot of different He-Man things. And again, they announced this Thunder Tank. Now, the Thunder Tank being $450 plus the $50 shipping, again, I get it, sticker shock. But what I do not like is I hate it when the community decides that instead of just expressing their disappointment, because again, I get it. You want to go into the forums, you want to go into the Instagram page, and you want to say, wow, that's too rich for my blood, and da 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 da. I get that. I get it. But when you start going in and you start trying to shame the guy who's creating this stuff, and you start trying to bitch and complain about the price to the point where you're just being annoying, that is a part that I don't understand. Because again, as an adult, we have an option. There's this thing called choice. You can either buy it or you don't have to buy it. If something is too expensive for you, then you don't need. Then obviously that's not in your price range. But there are a lot of people out there where that price will make sense. And again, if this was just them bringing out the exact same Thunder Tank, the exact same size as it was back in the 80s, and for $450, then I could probably understand where you're coming from if you wanted to bitch and complain about it. But this is a Thunder Tank on a 7-inch scale. Like if you take one of those older Thunder Tanks from back in the day, I think when he did the math, it was like 4 or 5 of those were equal out to one of this Thunder Tank. And what Brian did was he actually did an interview with Pixel Dan, and I'll put the link to the video interview in my description so you guys can watch it for yourself. But Brian went through in meticulous detail the reason why the Thunder Tank was $450. Even more reason than he should have given. But again, I understand that when you look at something that's that expensive, you need to explain it. And I thought his explanation for it was, well, I thought it was great. Essentially what he was saying was that the most expensive part of the Thunder Tank is the mold. The mold to make this thing is in 2 separate parts. And again, this is not like you're making Snake Mountain, where Snake Mountain was just 2 pieces of plastic where the other end of it is mostly hollow. This thing has moving parts. The Thunder Tank itself has a lot of features. The claws move, the mouth moves, the eyes glow. As you can see in the photo here, I'll start showing you guys some of the pictures. As you can see in this picture, it's going to come with the clear case. It's going to come with the turret gun in the back. The treads and the tires will move. The inside of the vehicle is matching the actual show. And again, you got the driver's side. You got fully articulated points. And look at how big this thing is. It'll be able to fit 2 7-inch figures in the back and 4 7-inch figures I'm sorry, so you can fit 2 full figures in the front and 4 in the back. That's on 7-inch scale. That's fucking massive. And you can probably fit more of them in there if you take out the turret. And again, like I said, it looks like you can see here in the photo that I'm showing you right now, it looks like Jackalman is, he's a little bit over the top, but that was kind of like, this is the prototype, and he already confirmed that is going to be 1 inch deeper and about another 1.5 inches taller, so they will have no issues getting the figures in there. And again, as you can see here is another picture of the Thunder Tank where the claw can open up and reveal the blaster and the wheels. I mean, this thing is massive. It's massive. Look at it. Look at that. And when he did the math, that's the 80s Thunder Tank. And you can see once he put it up on the other one, it's like you could fit 4 of those into one of those. And again, he mentioned the fact that, because again, a lot of people like to bring up the fact that the Razor Crest was $350, and why is this more expensive than the Razor Crest? And again, you have to remember, the Razor Crest is on a 3 3/4 scale. This is a 7-inch scale tank. And on top of that, the Razor Crest sold 28,000 units. So yeah, when you sell that many units, the molds will basically pay for themselves in the amount that's going to be shipping. There are not a lot of Thundercat collectors out there. And he even said in an interview, he was like, people like to think they talk in these Reddit groups and on these boards, and they're talking about, oh, if this thing was $250, I'd buy it in a heartbeat. But he has the hard numbers of who is buying these Thundercat figures, and it's not 28,000 people are going to be buying this Thunder Tank. So there's no way it's going to be that price. So, and again, to me, the bigger issue that I have is that, again, we have a bunch of entitled people who think that they can just insult or shame somebody into lowering the price for them. And that's what makes me mad. Like, there was this actual, I'm gonna read you the comment from one of these guys, and he was basically like, I'm very disappointed and insulted by Super 7. $450 cat's layer pricing. Basically, he's predetermining how much the cat layer should be on a 7-inch scale. He's like, not Thunder Tank pricing. He's like, there's no way I'm paying $500 including $500 including shipping. He was like, shame on you, Super 7, for trying to take advantage of your fans and your Thundercats fans. So the thing that I kind of glean from that is that when I hear stuff like that, it's just like, you're a broke ass collector and you can't afford it. So then you're trying to shame and bitch and complain this person into submission. And to me, I'm like, that's not cool. I'm like, if you, again, I am like, let me be clear. I'm not saying that you can't complain about a price. What I'm saying is when you take it to the level where, again, you are trying to shame a company into lowering their price because you can't afford it, that's where I have an issue. Like, I'll give you a prime example. The Sentinel from the HasLab Sentinel. I was able to get me a HasLab Sentinel. I wanted 2. Shit, if I could have got 3, I would have got 3, but I couldn't afford 3. At that time when it first came out, I could barely afford the 1, but I made sure that by the time that the event closed and it was time to pay for it, I at least got me 1. But did I sit there and go raging at Hasbro like, how dare you make me pay that amount of money for the HasLab Sentinel, and you guys should make this more affordable? Why isn't it $100? And I'm like, if you look at the detail that was put into that HasLab Sentinel, it justified the price, not to mention all the free extras they put in it. So again, I am happy with getting my 1. Do I wish I would have got 2 or 3? Absolutely. But again, I knew what my budget was at that time, so I wasn't able to get it. Like, I've purchased action figures as low as $5, and I've paid upwards of $450 for a single action figure. Again, if you guys have watched my top 10 action figures of 2020, the number 1 action figure in that group was the Flame Toys Optimus Prime. That is a $400 plus action figures. Die-cast, LEDs, multiple weapons. Like, that thing is a fucking masterpiece, but it costs money. I didn't go running to Flame Toys and talking about, how dare you charge me that kind of money for a Transformer that can't even transform. They set the price. You make the decision if you want to buy it or not. Simple as that. That is how it works. If you're not happy with the price, don't buy the item. But don't sit there and bitch because you can't afford it. That's not how the game works. Like, again, we are all adults here. Collectors, if you cannot afford your hobby, then you should not be in the hobby. Period. Like, again, later on in this video, I'm going to be talking about, when I talk about G.I. Joe, you'll understand exactly what I'm talking about. But, again, I'm not in the game of shaming people when it comes to these action figures. It just doesn't make any sense to me at all. So, ran over for the most part. I didn't want to rant on too long. But, again, bottom line is that stop bitching and complaining about the price of shit if you don't know the inner workings of how this stuff is being priced out. Like, again, Star Wars is a multi-billion-dollar brand that is selling hundreds of thousands of figures every year. Super 7 is not doing them numbers. So the more that they produce, the cheaper the cost is. But if they're only producing a couple hundred, the cost is going to be higher. Trust me. All right, so that's it for the Super 7 news for today. Now I'm going to really quickly talk about this G.I. Joe news. So I'm going to start with this box. So Fortnite and G.I. Joe have come out with a Snake Eyes. This is a Fortnite G.I. Joe crossover Snake Eyes. This is available right now on the Hasbro Pulse's website. It is $40, and again, as you can see here, this is a picture of the Snake Eyes close up, and here we also have a picture of him with the accessories. Now, here's where my complaint is. I'm not paying $40 for this, and I'm gonna tell you why. To me, this is the exact same mold that they used from the classified Snake Eyes. And basically what they did was they added in a bunch of Fortnite-y weapons to it that don't even look good. Like, what is this? What is this, like a plunger? A plunger axe? They got like this rocket launcher that looks too cartoony, and they got a grappling hook that looks cartoony, and then you got like a disco grenade and what and like I don't like it. And again, to me, even at $30, I would have probably passed on it because again, this I have the classified 00 Snake Eyes. Like to me, that was worth the money that I spent on that. It came with the snake eyes, it came with the weapons, it came with the weapons rack, the different swords. Like to me, it was worth the money, and I immediately snapped that up. But this to me seems like a $20 figure with a $20 licensing fee slapped on it that we're paying for them doing a collaboration with Epic Games and Fortnite. That's what it seems like to me. So from my perspective, I don't see myself buying this thing at all. I just don't. I don't see it. Now, one other thing that I want to talk about is the delays with Zartan and with the Cobra infantry. So I know how I told you guys in the last video that I did that the Cobra infantry on both Hasbro Pulse and on Amazon was pushed back to March when the release date was supposed to be February 2nd, which would have been this Tuesday that's coming up because I'm recording this on Sunday. Now it's starting to look like everywhere is starting to delay them because there was another site on Walmart that originally had it coming out in February. Now that one also got pushed back to March. And again, I'm starting to see online as well that they're getting pushed back to March. So again, they might start being in stores sometime in February, but as far as like people who order them online, my understanding is that they're not going to start shipping until March. Amazon right now has the new reissue for the colored versions of the G.I. Joes, meaning the Duke, the Roadblock, and the Scarlet. They're now if you buy them on Amazon, you can get the recolored, redecoed ones. I have mine pre-orders on Big Bad Toy Store. I'm not in any real rush to get those right now. I'm more kind of focused on the other figures that are coming out. But again, I just want to make sure you guys were aware of that. All right, so all in all, like I said, this was a 20-minute video. Again, I hope you guys stayed to the end. Again, let me know what you guys think. Comment in the section below. Thumbs up the video. Subscribe to the channel. This is Showing Off the King, and have a good one.